welcome to Pro Saints Talk. Hey, the Saints are 2-1 after a big divisional road victory. May not have been pretty at all times, but hey, the offense showed out, and hey, you got out of there with the victory. So we're going to break it all down and look ahead to another big road matchup next week. So got the usual cast on the line. We got Bugs and George, and we'll kick it off like we always do with that Marcus Davin report. Hey, we've been calling him Davin Bust. Might need to start calling him Davin Bust through the line. George, what'd you think?
Great pun for a new dad. I wasn't going to come up with that nickname, but I was going to say I think we can delete the nickname Davin Bust. The guy made quite the contribution to week 2 on run support. Then week 3 got a sack along with pressure. And he's kind of reminding me of what Cam Jordan looked like his rookie year. And just for this guy to be contributing early is a great indication of who he's going to be. And I like how we're just forcing him in there. I've made my points earlier that I'd like him to do it with Hendrickson, not sans Hendrickson. But he is showing progress at a position that we desperately need because the coverage help isn't there. So the fact that Davenport is progressing is monumental. What do you think, Boogie?
Yeah, Davin Buff got his first sack. So what? We're 4.5 sacks away from
Galswaz.
Is it a 3B's lunch or was it a Galswaz lunch?
You keep changing all the parameters. It was 4 sacks to 5.5 to Galswaz.
No, it's 5.5. So he needs 4.5.
Dude, it was definitely 5.
Yeah, this number's changing.
We'll have to go back. It was either 5 or 5.5. Yeah, he may get it.
And it was Gallup.
I mean, not that we're playing or
anything. 3Bs.
Yeah, bro. Hey, if he gets 5 sacks, I'll happily treat everyone to lunch. You two, not everyone listening on the podcast. Don't get too excited. Big sweaters. So, he's playing a lot. He's getting pressure. He's good. He does this bull rush, which was pretty nice when he did, when he got to the quarterback. And I saw him do that a couple other times and got stuff. But, dude, he's pretty athletic. Hey, man, he's healthy. He's playing. Hey, I'm happy. Any pass rush is going to help us, dude, because the defense is atrocious. As usual, for 13 years, we've been watching off defense. And here we are again, week 3. And Twitter searching, waiting for Tuck to drop that we signed someone off the street, So, it's every year, pathetic defense. It's just, I'm so frustrated with watching this defense for over a decade and wasting Drew Brees' talent. But that's another topic. But we need Davenport. We need him to step up. 10 sacks, Georgie. 10 sacks.
Well, I don't know if you're going to get 10 sacks out of him this year, but, look, the pass rush I thought was a little bit better, and I know y'all are going to be surprised that I'm saying that, but Cam Jordan threw up 2 sacks. I mean, what else do you expect out of the guy? But he had a lot of pressure.
Were they real sacks or bullshit sacks?
Those were real sacks.
Those were real sacks.
Those are real sacks.
I remember one real one.
Dude,
okay.
those were real sacks, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I thought we closed the pocket a lot, but still didn't get home. And hey, when you don't get home, you give up the deep ball over the top. But y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but I didn't think it was the worst game the defense could have played. Came out of the gates and you got a 3-and-out. All right. We came out, we scored, and then we forced a 3-and-out. I mean, that was a big deal. And then, look, I don't care what happened all game long with blown coverages. You go to that end of that game where they had time. Falcons could have very easily come down, kick a field goal, and win that game. And the defense made a stop when it counted. So I thought situationally we saw some pretty good plays. I mean, look at how they played against the run. They really stopped the run well. So
yeah, the dude's wide open. And then the dude's wide open, so they throw every pass. I hate when on Twitter, we're the number 1 defense. Well, yeah, because they throw for 1,000 yards on us, dude.
Ron, you're like a chief of a village whose whole village just got raped and pillaged by the Vikings, and there was 2 survivors left. You're like, well, guys, it's not all bad. 2 of us survived. You picked like the 2 things that
Hey,
you can kind of
that's
hang your
enough
hat on.
Hey, two people. That's enough
we got
to
one.
procreate.
We had 1 3 and out.
Well, yeah, we got 1 3 and out. Hey, we stopped it at one time on the fourth down. Ron, there's not much to hang your hat here, and this is the window that we need to win, and this is not the defense that's going to provide a championship caliber team. I mean, this team is built to win right now, and as Boogie was alluding to earlier, this is a waste if there's no defense, and just the whole. Think of before we get into the cornerbacks. I know we're going to really deep down that rabbit hole. Let's just talk about Drew Brees right now. Drew Brees doesn't get the credit he deserves. He was truly masterful. It was almost like we were playing a prank on him. We told him, hey, Drew, we're going to give you a boatload of costly offensive line penalties at the worst time. Hey, we're going to give you no defense, and we're going to give you no running game. Now go keep up with the Falcons and beat them. And he did. And he does it all the time. And it's crazy the hands that we deal him and then say, now you have to go win with that. And we have to give him some more support. And it's getting obnoxious because he's doing this time in and time out. Because if we just had a little more to give him, how much more he could produce.
Yeah, I mean, the dude is playing again, not with like the 20th or 15th ranked defense, the worst defense in the league again. Like, all right, he's got to play with the shittiest defense. Every other team in the league has a better defense than us. You know, like you think we would have, like after last year, just anything, but no. Dude, like Rob Ryan again, man. They're like, they don't know the coverages. Georgie, we were talking about it. They're like on the pick plays. Dude, Odell Beckham is going to kill us on that. He's going to score 5 touchdowns.
You made a great point. When we have an average defense, it feels like we have a great defense. That's how bad our defense has always been.
Confusion. And that's Dennis Allen's whole thing was he's a secondary coach, and Aaron Glenn, is going to be a head coach. Well, yeah, dude, they have not anymore. They may get fired, because they'll be the scapegoats when, we go 7-9 this season. So the whole prove them right, all this BS and hype. The only hype that turned out to be true was State. Everything else was just fool's gold. And, hey, man, this is the same old stuff we've been seeing for years. What makes you think it's going to change, Ron?
Look, stats can be skewed any which way, right? But let me just hit you with some from this past week. They only gave up 4 third-down conversions. They only gave up 2.2 yards per rush on 22 carries by the Falcons. They actually got better, I'd say, in some regards on defense. If they eliminate big plays, you're looking at a pretty solid defense all of a sudden. So I go back to last year, man. Kicking off last year, we freaking gave up over 300 yards passing and a freaking just Pro Bowl performance by Sam Bradford. And then you gave up over 400 yards to Brady the next week. But you know what? They figured it out after that. After a big road win against the Panthers, they shut down Cam Newton pretty well in that game, and you start to see the secondary get some confidence. Look, I know that it might be hard to build that confidence after those big plays, but that's what playing cornerback and safety is all about is, man, you're going to get beat on plays. You got to line up the next play and do it all over again with that short-term memory. So that's why I'm saying I think they actually got better in some regards. I mean, you're watching this run D get a little bit better, and you're watching them get better on third down. I can see this defense growing, and I think they just got a few loose ends to figure out. Look, you got the classic quote from Peyton.
Yeah, growing in
yardage. You got the classic quote from Peyton this week in the press. Oh, yay, we got to look at where we got guys playing, what we're asking them to do, who we're asking to do it, and that's on the coaches. So. Boogie, I know where you stand on the Peyton regime, but I'm saying I'm betting on Peyton to figure this out.
Okay, Ron, I love what you said there. I do agree with a lot of these points. But one thing I really want to harp on is the fact that it's just a hole on your second cornerback. It's such a hole. It's such a vacancy. Every highlight, if you watch the Saints-Falcons game again or watch the extended highlights, you're going to see P.J. Williams get burned all game. then Crowley burned all game. And you're right, all other defensive positions played much better. But it's such a hole on that side of the field, and it leaves us so vulnerable. And then let's say you and I are cornerbacks, and we're teammates, and I'm Lattimore, and I'm shutting everybody down, and I'm doing great, and you're just Swiss cheese letting everybody open. That's going to hurt my play because I'm trying to lock this guy down, and you're not doing a damn thing. It's going to lose my motivation. It's going to lose Marcus Williams' motivation. He's having an off year. I think it's all because this number 2 corner, whether it was Crowley or whether it's P.J. Williams, has not shown up to do his job. So think about it like a factor. If everyone's doing their job, then everyone's in sync doing well. When you have one guy lollygagging, it messes up the whole team. And that's what's going on in the defensive backfield. And I'd love to say, oh, if we can fix this. I don't know how we're going to fix this. Signing Sterling Moore, this guy David Amerson.
Yeah, well, P-Rob's down now, which is really...
And P-Rob's down now, too. And I was about to get to that point.
Gas on the fire.
So exactly. So we have this hole that just got even wider. And I want to be optimistic with you on the season. And I think we might be all right, able to turn it around. But I don't know how with this cornerback situation.
I'll tell you how.
Most talented roster.
I'll tell you how we turn it around. It can't get any worse. They can only go up. And for all your points about one guy dogging the second corner, dude, Lattimore hadn't quite regained his confidence either yet. So I just think
we need a pick from Lattimore, dude.
I agree, and I just think that
Lattimore.
I think that's all going to come together this week. You're going to see the pass rush get home on that terrible O-line of the Giants. I think you're going to see some rush throws, and I think you're going to get that turnover in the secondary, and then Boomgang's back, dude. They're going to start posing on the field.
I hate when they pose right now. I mean, you're the worst defense. No need for poses after a play.
All right, you're the only person. You're the only person in the Who Dat Nation that doesn't like that. So, George,
I love it.
How about our boy Craig Robertson making a play as predicted here on this podcast, right here, recovering that block punt?
Right,
dude. I love all of our Miss Cleo crystal ball projections that are coming true. We said we're going to see Taysom Hill in the run game. He had multiple runs last game.
He's going to score a touchdown.
He's going to score a touchdown very soon. It is can't miss TV.
But I hope
to see what Taysom Hill turning
night.
into.
Dude, yeah, Hill. We're going to see him in a new spot every week. I think we talked about that last week. The guy is just what would John Gruden call him, man? Your Joker? He's like a Joker out there. Yeah, you put him out there anywhere. The dude's a football player, man. He's going to make a play. I don't care if he's on special teams. He's making tackles. Put him in the run game. He's breaking tackles. Dude, that first down he got in the red zone was critical. And that was all second effort on his part, dude. The guy he's a spark plug.
Dude, I want clickbait to score a touchdown on Monday Night Football in the Dome. I just want that to happen. I don't want him to score a touchdown. I mean, of course the Giants, but man, that would be awesome in the Dome.
No, dude, Monday Night Football, that's the national media he needs, dude. I mean, man, he'll be on the freaking cover of the New York Times.
Defense, yeah.
He's more likely to score a touchdown this game because we don't have Ingram. And we actually need him as our power running back right now. How ludicrous that sounds, we need him to be our power running back. We'll have Ingram back versus the Redskins. I think you'd see Ingram in the red zone as our finisher. But you really might see Taysom Hill used as our short yardage back. I don't know if Joker, if you just put it, because he takes the direct snap, so it's not like he's a back. I don't know what to call him. But he's going to be our short yardage guy in a lot of situations week 4 when we don't have Ingram. And going back to the defense, we're going all over the place, and that's okay. I think Ingram plays a big factor in our defense because our offense is so run and gun. Like our first drive was how many plays? Felt like nothing, 5 or 6 plays. Our defense is constantly going back on the field. And once we set the tone with Ingram and the running game, that might transfer over to a better defense. You see that time in and time out in the NFL, and it's hard to really tell why, with time of possession, why that's such a factor. But if our running game gets better with Ingram, because right now it's non-existent, Kamara's doing what he can. We know we need him. We've gone over that over and over again on the podcast. We need Ingram back just to regain a running game, and that's going to help out the defense.
What do you think about Kamara not practicing today? Thinking of when we had to rely on Kamara.
Why is he returning punts? We have Ted Ginn. We have all these weapons as a potential punt returner. We got Brandon Tate back. I think that was horrible. I don't know about clickbait returning punts. I mean, he can do it all. Yeah, why not? But why is Kamara returning punts? That was terrifying. And then your boy's at a Drain concert, limping, trying to shoot a half-court shot. It's like he's overdoing it. He needs to go to the JCC steam room, get his body right for a big Sunday versus the Giants.
Did you see him limping in that video? Do you notice it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you, man. I saw that this morning, and I was like, man, he's limping. But I was like, oh, maybe it's just the way he walked. And then that came out. Like, of course. You knew it was going to happen, man. He gets the ball. I mean, the guy's all over the field, returning punts. I mean, he had like 15 catches and like 13 carries, man. It's ridiculous.
It was like
16
getting back carries.
Defense, though. Let me ask you about 18 carries.
16.
Same thing. Too many. Too many. Whatever. So let me ask you this, Ron, on your Twitter breakdown. Where the hell is Marcus Williams been? I mean, is it because of the number 2 cornerback? I mean, this dude is this is Jarris Byrd, Bucky Jones, Dwight Smith. I mean, this is everything combined.
I will say a couple of those deep balls, he was trailing. And on one of those, I think he was even trailing behind Crawley. Dude, I'm still not I'm not doing enough film study, I'm going to be perfectly honest, to tell you if Von Bell should be back on some plays. I mean, not everyone is, a deep ball that I'm going to blame on Marcus Williams. I mean, certainly he's got some faults, but and even those like intermediate to deep balls, I'm just like, shouldn't we have somebody else around? I don't know. Well, I just wanted to go back to what you were talking about, George, about, what the offense is doing and how that dictates the flow of the game. I mean, you've heard Peyton talk about it before. Like, some games just have a flow about them, and you got to find a way to win them. This was one of those games where you just got to outscore the other team because nobody's stopping anybody. And we've certainly been on the other side of those games when our offense just hasn't had a 5-star game, and our defense is definitely giving it all up. And Breeze is sitting there in the post-game interview saying, oh, we just didn't score enough. That's not the defense's fault. But that kind of flow of game is like the worst nightmare situation we were talking about for these first 4 weeks without Ingram. We were talking about, man, if we could just get some nice, like, spread the ball around, comfortable wins, and we didn't have to just totally force feed Kamara, that would be so nice. But, I mean, we're really not doing ourselves any favors. And that's why the dude's limping. I mean, he had 30-something touches. That's 30-something times the dude's getting tackled. The game goes into overtime. Now you're working his body even more on that last drive. I mean, the guy needs to be in a hyperbaric chamber every night of the week, in my opinion. So, yeah, I did agree with your point there, George. Ingram's going to be such a nice, fallback for this team. I just hope it's not too little too late for Kamara because, I mean, something like that, the guy, he's a player that has to be at 100%, right? I mean, if he's not
all
100%,
year.
Yeah, he's not Kamara. So I just hope it's not too little too late.
We didn't burn him out in the first quarter of the season. That was our concern going into the year. Are we going to burn him out when Ingram's gone? And it kind of looks like we have, and that was poorly played. Was it because we relied on Gillislee? We chose the wrong guy. We didn't give Boston Scott a shot. I don't know the answer to that question. It's all hypothetical. But I do think a big concern was when Ingram was out, are we going to overload Kamara? And it seems that we have. Yet, I mean, we do what we had to do to win, but do we win the battle to lose the war?
But it's one of those things. He twisted his knee. Then next week against the Giants, he gets hit. Then he's actually hurt. You know what I mean? Dude's one hit away. Then you got. It just came out that Cam Jordan's on the injury report now for his biceps.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about that. I think these guys are veterans, and they don't need to practice every Wednesday to be ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you to an extent, George.
With Kamara, too.
I agree with you to an extent there, George, but damn, those are some heavy-hitting names on the injury report this week, dude. Armstead's a staple on the report. I mean, we know that.
Right.
Not having Pete. We didn't even talk about this, dude. We won in Atlanta without Pete. But no, seriously, dude. We won freaking in Atlanta without Pete. You got to be happy with that, dude. A road divisional win, and you don't have your most versatile offensive lineman, arguably your best offensive lineman.
I'm happy, man, but it's just the defense, dude. I mean, there's nothing. The defense, no improvement. It's like, man, you want to see a little improvement, but we already hit that subject, so that's.
Yeah, but no, but back to the injuries. I mean, some pretty heavy-hitting injuries on the report this week. Kamara, Cam Jordan, Teron Armstead, Andrews Pete. Who else am I missing?
Teo.
I mean, just the first four names. Those are four of your best players on the entire roster. So it's not pretty. And you don't know the extent of every single one of them. But heck, man, freaking 9 players I think on there this week. So that's not where you want to be going into week 3. But nevertheless, let's transition into week 3 here. I already kind of talked about it. I personally think that this is going to be the game that the defense figures it out. I think look, we all watched, what was that, Sunday night? The freaking Giants offensive line. Swiss cheese, dude. I felt like I was watching a Sarah McLachlan commercial for the dog shelters every time I watched Eli peel himself off the turf, dude. It was like one of the most depressing. Dude, it's like one of the most depressing things I've ever seen. Because, Eli already has that body language, like almost Jay Cutler-esque, where, like, he just kind of looks apathetic out there a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me picking that up. But, dude, the guy was just getting his shit rocked every freaking drop back. So, I just think Cam Jordan's going to get home a couple times. I think Davenport's going to get us 40% of the way to Gallups was this week, if not 60% of the way there. And I think that's going to force some early throws from Eli. Look, is Odell probably going to put up 150, 200 receiving yards on us? Yeah, and that's fine because I got him in fantasy. But I just think they're going to force some early throws and get some – I think they're going to get a pick or two this week. So I'm just going to throw it out there now. I mean, heck, why wait for bold predictions here? We have seen clickbait in a new spot every week, and we are so desperate in the secondary right now. We're got all these guys off the street coming in for workouts. Don't forget about a coaching legend by the name of Bill Belichick throwing a guy by the name of Troy Brown, a wide receiver, to cover slot receivers in the freaking Super Bowl. So crazier things have happened, and I would not be surprised if Taysom Hill finds his way on defense this week.
No way, dude. No way. You think so? That would be crazy. That'd be nuts, man.
Boogie, but seriously, what do you think is going to happen this week? What are the keys?
All right, so Mickey needs to make a move. Loomis, we need to do something. We can't go in this week, and it looks like we are. Frightening with our DBs. I mean, I thought we were going to sign Sterling Moore. Nothing's come out yet, but I mean, right now we got Lattimore, got PJ, got Crawley, and then we got nobody. I guess we got Banjo, but he's a safety. I guess they're gonna put Von Bell, Kirk Coleman, I don't know, in the slot. So I'm pretty nervous about that. I think Mickey needs to trade the second round pick for a starting defensive back. But as far as for the Giants game, we're just gonna hop into the Giants game. I have Eli on my fantasy team. I have Eli and Breeze as my quarterbacks. I'm gonna start Eli. Dude, I'm so worried about this game because I just think They're going to light us up.
Wait.
I don't want them to.
Time out. You have Breeze and Eli. You're starting Eli?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, he's throws like 6 touchdowns. Guaranteed.
Dude,
I mean,
you realize,
we don't have a...
All right, wait. But time out.
We don't have a defense.
Time out, dude. Last week, who scored more fantasy points, Drew Brees or Matt Ryan?
Breeze. The defense sucks. I don't know. I might change my mind. But let me go into this. I want us to win so badly because it would just set us up for Monday Night Football, going live under the overpass with the tailgate, which would be awesome, man, to go for 4-1. So you don't understand how badly I want to win this game. 3-1, and then under the overpass, it could be lit for Monday Night Football.
Oh, so I got you. You're putting the fantasy juju on the game, saying that the Saints are going to win if you start Eli.
I can't predict a win because our defense hasn't showed they can stop anybody. So I think we're I think right now we're an 8-8 team. So we get back to 500 this week. Sucks. But if we do win, dude, I think it's a huge win. If for some reason we pull it out and go 3-1, I think it could be season change. I really do. I hope so, man. For my sanity that we go 3-1. What do you think, Georgie?
I think this is the Sean Payton team that, and the wrong type of Sean Payton team. A team that when we begin to have hope and think, okay, this is what we're going to really build upon, and he comes back and takes us on a roller coaster ride. And that's going to be this type of season. It's going to be like 2 years ago when we went 7-9 and had all those crazy games. Because right when you really start to build up enthusiasm for this team, he brings you back down. And I'm just, like Ron was saying about his fantasy team with Odell, who's off to a slow beginning to the season. He's going to make up for that and then some with this game coming up. And Saquon Barkley's had a pretty solid beginning to the season. He hasn't had that amazing 2-3 touchdown game. That might be happening here. This might be a game just like last week where whoever has the ball last is going to win because they have holes on their defense. They're going up against a great offense, ours. And I think it's going to be quite similar to Falcons Saints game last week where just crazy stuff happens. It's going to be like that all year until we get the defense figured out. And Eli, who I would have said has hit the end of the road after watching that Cowboys game, he's going to look better than he's looked in a long time. So I don't really think that that's crazy for Boogie to start Eli.
I do.
Yeah, it's just it's like old Saints, man. We're going to make them look awesome, and it's going to be the headlines of Sports Center. Eli, Odell Beckham, Barkley, 300 yards. It's just, dude, you know the story, this movie, man. But hey, you know what I'm doing right now, by the way? This is off subject. I'm watching Taysom clickbait highlights from Bayou on YouTube, dude. This dude's an animal, man. He's an animal. It's awesome. It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm all in on him, dude. Dude, I'm all in.
Dude, I think it is. I think it is ridiculous to predict that out of Eli this week, dude. Look, yeah, have we made bad O-lines look good before? Sure, but, dude, first off, I don't think Barkley beats us this week, dude. We've been tackling better, and Barkley doesn't run a fade route, and that's what we're vulnerable to right now. So I just personally think we're going to get to Eli. We're going to stop the run, and look, I just think we're going to win this game. I think we're going to sign Sterling Moore if we know what's good for us. Think about 2 years ago when we lost that weird game where the offense could never get going. I think we only scored 13 points. The silver lining in that game, the Sterling silver lining in that game was Sterling Moore relatively shutting down Odell Beckham. I mean, he played a pretty solid game against him. And I'm pretty sure we signed him because whoever he was with before that, he did a pretty good job covering Odell Beckham. So whatever the juju is, dude, sign his ass and get him back out there to cover Odell this week. at least situationally. I mean, we're going to have Lattimore on him primarily, but heck, if Lattimore can't do it, dude, I don't have a problem giving that dude a gut check and sending him on the number 2 receiver. Hey, guy's got to get out of this sophomore slump. But I think this is the get right game. I think we're going 3-1 onto the overpass for the live broadcast for Monday night.
Dude,
Well,
I hope so.
I know you already talked about how pumped you are. You want to talk about the setup a little bit more?
Under the overpass, we have the trailer. Georgie's going live. We're going to have the tent. Dude, we're going to have the tailgate set up. Everyone knows, boys. We're going to set it up on live. It's going to be awesome. And we have a little surprise out there, too. We're going to have the TV going. A little broadcast, have the satellite going. And the Popeyes, huh, Georgie?
Always ready. And Latham will be cooking for us all.
Baby.
So thank you, Latham. All right, Ron, last week we brought T-Pack in to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, and then all of his predictions came true. The segment worked so well that we have to bring a New York Giants aficionado, Patrick Clark, my good friend I made in Africa, in Tanzania, Katongo, Tanzania. We were talking for us half the world away. Jambo Rafiki, Habari. So, Patrick, where are we calling in from, bro?
I'm currently in Yonkers, New York.
Beautiful this time of year, and you're going to be attending the Giants-Saints game.
I will be attending the Giants-Saints game.
So here's our concern going into that game, and you can say if it's off base or if it's pretty factual. So we think Saints right now are a little bit of a fool's gold 2-1. Like, y'all might be scared to play us because our offense is good, but we have a quite significant defensive holes, and we're going against a team that has offensive weapons galore and a team that's hungry to play the Saints because 2 of your best players are from New Orleans. You got 2 greenies, Eli and Odell, who are going to be hungry to come after us. And y'all might be better than 1-2. So I think y'all being 2-2 and us being 2-2 is about right in the karma football world. How do you?
Yeah, we're trying to get back. We're trying to get back to 2-2. I don't think there's any doubt that we have, a ton of offensive weapons. Although I don't think Evan Ingram's playing, our tight end.
Right.
I think he's out with a sprained MCL. So that'll limit it. I like our backup tight end, though. He scored a touchdown last game. But at the same time, I've been a closet Drew Brees fan my whole life. I went to Mardi Gras, 2 weeks after you guys won the Super Bowl. What year was that?
2010.
Was that 09? 2010. 2010 Super Bowl, 2009 season. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
And that was an incredible experience. I remember seeing Drew Brees in his coat of Roman armor that he was wearing, all dressed out in gold.
Right.
He's on my fantasy team, so I'm going to be rooting for him. But if I had to say, I'd say if you've got holes on your defense, hopefully Eli Manning will be able to find them like he did last week. But we also have holes on our defense. I was really excited with the way Eli Apple was playing this year, and now he's out also this week with a groin injury. He had been, a weak spot for the last couple seasons since we drafted him. And he finally looked like he was getting it. Yeah, he finally looked like he was getting his stuff together. And then now he's out with an injury. So we'll see how that goes also. Because
he made a big splash when he got in a fight with Landon Collins over the offseason.
The
last game, I don't know if you saw the highlights of the last game. The Saints, we had a shootout.
Oh, I saw a gorgeous spin move by your boy.
The guy
to get in
who
the
bowed
end
down to at that Mardi Gras. Well, my point being, we were in a big shootout last week, and we have defensive issues galore at our cornerback position. It sounds like y'all do too. So you think this is going to be what it was last week with the Saints Falcons? It's shootout. Whoever has the ball last.
Here's the thing: I can't remember the last game that the Giants were a part of in which they were in a shootout. I think all last year. I don't know if they even broke the past 29 point. They didn't get into the 30-point barrier all last year, and they certainly haven't yet this year. So, I'd be nervous if it turns into a shootout that the Saints might run away with it. And it's quite possible with Drew Brees.
Don't you think Barkley you'll have the weapons, as I'm getting at, to keep up with us?
Well, no, I would like to see Barkley, break off for 150 yards against you guys without a doubt. But I think our biggest weak spot is our offensive line, which I think is one of the reasons. The first tackler never brings down Barkley, but for some reason we're letting 2-3 guys into the next level, which is hurting us.
I missed week 1 when y'all played the Jaguars and week 3 when y'all played the Texans. I watched extended highlights of those games. But week 2, I watched that full game versus the Cowboys, and Eli Manning looks like he kind of has reached the end of the line. Every year you just see a new quarterback. Like it was Carson Palmer at one point last year. It was just like, okay, this guy, it's over. And it looks like Eli's gotten to that last stop on the subway. Agree or disagree?
He found the fountain of youth against the Jaguars. I'll say that. I mean, he looked a lot better, especially in the first half of the Jaguars game. Oh, am I talking Jaguars? I'm sorry, Houston. He found the fountain of youth in the Houston game. He looked a lot better in the first half of the Houston game. He looked not as good in the second half, but that's when our offensive line started to give way. I think Eli Manning can be as good as his offensive line lets him be.
Okay.
We had a offensive tackle that we sat for the last game because he was doing so poorly. His name's Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers.
Yeah, it's his third year out, and he just kept getting penalties and letting guys through. And I think, again, that Cowboys game, I don't know if you remember seeing it, but Eli took probably the biggest hit of his career.
Yeah.
It turned into a meme, like the face he had as he was getting lifted back up.
Yeah, I know. Just when you're talking about that guy from Notre Dame, his name's escaping me. When Eli went to go run, and then he got launched by that linebacker. Yeah, that's I didn't know that look in his eyes. He looked like a scared old man when he got up, and that's kind of like, damn, maybe it is the end for Eli. And his decline won't be as long as Peyton, because Peyton was a bit better, so he has a longer mountain to come down. Where Eli he was always pretty good, but not really great. So when he comes down, it's going to be more rapid.
Now, on the other side of the ball, there's a quarterback that is actually older than Eli Manning.
He still got it, dude. Drew Brees.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, are you guys worried that sometimes time is gonna catch up with him?
The deep ball's not there. It's a good question. The deep ball's not there, but Drew still has it. I mean,
gorgeous touch.
I don't really think you can look at age as like the number one tell-all and how much he still has left in the tank. I mean, it's a big indicator.
It's got to be a good indicator.
Right, but if you just watch the tape, aside from Drew Brees' deep ball, he had a big miss with Ted Ginn in the Browns game. Aside from his deep ball, he's still the same Drew Brees. So, short term, no. Long term, yes.
Looking back on it, Drew Brees was highly affected by when the Giants drafted. They didn't draft Eli Manning. Do you remember that?
Right, Phillip Rivers. And
the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers, and Eli went.
Eli won his way out of San Diego.
Yeah, so the San Diego drafted Eli, and Eli said he wouldn't play for San Diego, and then the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers and traded for Eli. Phillip Rivers goes to San Diego, and then Drew Brees, because Drew Brees was already at San Diego, they booted him to New Orleans, right? That wasn't a free agent signing, right? You just traded?
No, he was a free agent, but it was because Phillip Rivers pushed him out. So you're absolutely correct. We do owe the New York Giants a big basket of gumbo and love.
Yeah. Well, no gumbo for me. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Is that right? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Pauline, then.
For the first time in a long time, because probably only you know this, but I'm a huge Clemson fan. For the first time in a long time, the Giants now have 2 Clemson guys on their roster. For a long time, they didn't have any. Their backup running back won the national championship with the Giants. His name's Wayne Gallman. And their starting inside linebacker is B.J. Goodson, and they are both really good athletes. Obviously, Wayne Gallman's not running like Saquon Barkley, but they're both really good athletes. He's a good backup. B.J. Goodson is a tackling machine, so keep your eyes open for them.
There's a strong pipeline between the Giants and New Orleans. There was Eli last year. There was Odell. There was Orleans Darkwa from Tulane and from New Orleans. Got Junior Casillas, who's no longer with the team. And there's another big name I'm forgetting. But for a while there, it was...
Is it Evan Ingram?
He's from Ole Miss. I don't think he's from Louisiana. But no, there's a strong connection between the two teams. But Asante Sana Rafiki, you got a prediction on the game?
Oh man. Hopefully it's not a shootout. I'd like to see the Giants win.
All right, you heard it here first. I think this will be accurate. I think Giants are going to win. I just had this weird suspicion that is true, but I don't. I think it's going to be way more high scoring than that. I think it's going to be a crazy game.
I'd hate for it to be high scoring because our offense sometimes putters out. I'll tell you what, if you give the ball to Drew Brees with 2 minutes left, I'd be probably a little bit more worried.
Oh yeah, that's what, if we're down 3 or 4 points and we have the ball with 2 minutes, count it a win. And I think it's vice versa with Eli too.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you know. I mean, I love Eli, but I've also been at every game for the last 3 seasons, so I've seen the ups and downs.
And you'll be at this game this weekend?
I will be there. I'll send you a pic.
All right, we'll post it on Twitter. All right, Hoodas and Ron, thank Pat Clark for
Asika Moema.
Kisikuru. Badai.
See you later, man.
Ron here with the Army Breakdown. The Black Knights, man, what a freaking ball game this past week. You probably didn't watch it because it was only on pay-per-view. But if StatCast told you anything, it was a freaking dogfight in Norman, Oklahoma. They were certainly ready and up for the challenge, and they honestly should have won that game. Man, goal line stand in the fourth quarter to stop Oklahoma, then took the ball, drove it all the way down, thought they were going to take the clock all the way out of the game, just drain it and kick one to walk away with it. Ended up throwing an interception. Ball game went into overtime, and you know the Knights couldn't withstand the home crowd in overtime. Just a tough break, but doesn't get any easier this week. They got to go at Buffalo. High flying offense. They're 4-0, and so we'll see what Monken and the defense can do this week to stifle that offense.
Dude, you're the Army historian, man.
And we'll see what they can do to stifle that aerial attack and take the air out of the ball like they always do. The great equalizer, the triple option. So, Black Knights still looking good on the promising season here. Still looking to defend that Commander-in-Chief trophy. With that said,
nice job.
With that said, Bugs, you got anything else you want to cover?
Hey, shout out to Under the Overpass. Hey, going live Monday Night Football. Hopefully we'll be 3-1. We're going to have it set up. Godfather, Boss, everyone get out there. Take us out, Ron.
All right. Hey, Pro Saints Talk. We out here.